As mentioned in the video instruction on the formation of sales act, currently after the sale on the page items in warehouse, the total quantity of the relevant components in the accounting in the column total PCS does not change, and the quantity of these components in the warehouse increases. If this was a sale after which the repaired damaged scaffolding components would not be returned later, then after this sale, in order for the warehouse report to contain correct data, it is necessary to form an act of write-off the relevant scaffolding components. We'll look at the previously formatted Sales Act. Exactly the scaffolding components included in this act needed to be written off. I did a print screen of sold components rows in the page items in warehouse. After opening the list of acts page through the left-hand menu section Act Scaffolding Rent, we see the Warehouse plus/minus button. Clicking this button opens the page Received, Warehouse Replenishment, and Writing Off from Warehouse Acts Operations, which currently does not contain a single data line. The formation of Items Write-Off Act begins through the drop-down section Administration in the left-hand menu by selecting the section minus Items Write-Off. The Scaffolding Components Write-Off Act formation page opens. On this page, we can set the act number, date, select the quantities of components to be written off, and after the calculation, form the write-off act. Also, from this page, by pressing the button Warehouse plus/minus, we can go to the page of the list of received and write-off acts operations. In the write-off act number field, the program enters 1 if there were no write-off acts on the current day, and in the case of write-off acts have already been formed on the current day, then the number following the highest write-off act already exists on that day. This field can be edited, but the program checks that it does not remain empty and is a number. In case of discrepancies, the program stops the act formation and displays a message with the relevant information. In the date field, the program enters the current date. This field can be edited, but the program checks that it does not remain empty and date is entered in it. The program also checks that the combination of the act number and date is unique in the program. That is, it does not allow a second write-off act or the same day and number to be recorded. In case of discrepancies, the program stops the act formation and displays a message with the relevant information. In the table containing a list of all scaffold components in the accounting, in the column Write-Off PCS, we need to select the quantities of scaffolding components that will be written off. When the page opens, the write-off quantity of components in this column is set to 0. The quantities are selected from drop-down list containing integers from 0 to the free quantity of the component at the time of writing off act formation, reflected in the column free PCS. If the Form Document button is clicked after leaving the quantities of all components at 0, the program stops the act formation and displays a message with the relevant information. When entering quantities, we can use a filter based on the component title. For example, in the appropriate box, we start entering the title, and only components with corresponding text in their titles remain in the list. In this way, after filtering, we enter the required quantity of the relevant component, and then, in order to see other components, we remove the text from the filter box. When we finish entering quantities, we can still view the list of components with non-zero quantities by pressing the Review button. If we notice that we still need to add a component that is not in this list, we press the All button and select that component and select its quantity. The quantity can be selected no larger than the number of available components, all available components minus reserved and rendered components. If no more components need to be written off, we press Calculate button. If all selected or entered data meet the requirements, then by pressing the Form Document button, an Excel format write-off file is formed. By opening the list of receipts and write-offs via the Warehouse ± button, we will see that this list already contains the main data of the just format write-off. By opening the list of scaffolding components via Items in Warehouse section on the left-hand menu, we will see that the quantities of corresponding components in the total PCS and in Warehouse PCS and Free PCS columns have decreased in this list.